went through a lot of really difficult times as well. Like when I was 17, my parents left London and moved to France, and so my childhood home wasn't there. So I was kind of also playing on the streets as well, like to make a living, and would stay in people's living rooms, and sometimes I didn't have somewhere to stay as well. So I was in this quite expansive state, and I remember all this light coming in the dark room, and it was just like rising through the room, just like coming through my body, and I just saw like this round stone on the horizon, and I could feel it rising up, and I just said, the only word I had was infinity, 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 infinity.
Hello family, and welcome to episode 21 of Who on Earth. And wow, am I excited about this one. You know, sometimes when you've got somebody sat across from you and you're like, how did I manage that? Well, this is going to be a two-parter with a very special guest. I've actually had his music in some of the journeys, the floating meditation journeys I do. It's Mr. Antarma. I was down at a Sam Garrett concert with my girlfriend in Union Chapel, London. By the way, go check him out, fantastic artist. And I just seen him there, and I had a friend who knew him, and I was like, if you're up in Manchester, and he so happened a few months later, maybe not even that long, he was doing this thing with these kids at this conscious classroom, and come round and we'll do it. And we had a beautiful conversation. Now, the first 18 minutes is opening mantra. That's how we like to start it. So I invite you to just allow that, to give yourself a chance to just drop into the space. Very Antarma, but that'll be 18 minutes, so I just wanted to give you a heads up. Then we're going to go into his story. Little by little, we start unraveling little gems of who Antarma is in his past. So I'll let that do the talking in the actual episode. Now, look, guys, if you are suffering, if something is just becoming so overwhelming that life is feeling burdensome, that's why I wanted to pass meditation on. The practice itself, what I've learned, has allowed me to process so much trauma that life is actually a joy. It's actually something that's gone from being an obstacle. Even the tough moments, I've turned them into opportunities for growth. So one-to-ones, or if you want to come down to the class at the Resonance Centre, 6:30 to 7:30 every Monday. Also record those classes as well, so you can do it from the comfort of your own home. By the way, we just started a 10-day beginners course, so if you want to dip your toes in or you want to polish up, start with the basics again. Started day one, let me know if you want that. And also, we've got the floating meditation journeys where you're in the hammocks. We've got the cacao. Funny enough, Antarma has been some of those characters in those journeys. He's that good. That's why I was mind blown that he actually was on the show. And the last one at the old space of Transmute is going to be coming up before we move to the new town space. And like Manchester Town Centre, it's going to be absolutely elevated. You're not ready, but I'm very sentimental. I'll be doing the last one. It's the Eternal Sands of Egypt, a quest for immortality, on the 22nd of June, 7 till 9:30 in the evening. Cacao ceremony, breathwork. Would love to see you there, so I'll put a little link there for you as well. Now, before I move you on to the little bit about Transmute, likes, shares, comment, man. I'd love to hear what you think. If you're an Antarma fan or Who on Earth fan, I'd love to hear how you found the episode. Please, feel free. I'm here for it. Now, are you ready? There's going to be an opening mantra, 18 minutes, little heads up there where he just wanted to, that's how Antarma wanted to start the episode, and I think it's apt. So let your eyes drop. Give yourself 18 minutes of pure peace and loveliness. And then Antarma's going to unravel his story for you to enjoy. Here's now a few words about Transmute.
You know how much I love me some Transmute. Well, it's a new year, so of course there's new things to tell you about. What new things, Michael? Well, about the African dance classes. Or maybe you want to be the reason for the dancers, so DJ lessons. And I can't wait for my own DJ lesson. DJ Moksha coming soon. Keep an eye out. And then we've got Jamsmute. I tell you, bring an instrument. Maybe it's even just your voice. Maybe you just want to enjoy the atmosphere. But come down to a Jamsmute and just express yourself through that sound. Now, if you might just have something as simple as a birthday or an event, something you want to host yourself, you know, you can rent the room out. It's for hire. And then they've got all the old stuff that they're doing as well. You know, the classics. We've got Mustafa doing his magical drum class with the African drumming. Or you want to take care of your fitness, we've got extreme hip hop. Or we've got the caveman group training. Trust me, they'll test you. And then we've got the ceremonial ecstatic dance through Arinyane. done by the incredible Wizardry. And that one, the magic that he weaves, my words are pointless. You have to come and experience it. We've even got the sound baths, or if you're Ruben, a sound waterfall. And you know, I like using them hammocks as well. So we've got floating meditation journeys, hammock, meditation, music, take you on a story of epicness, if that's a word. We've even got cacao ceremony before it, and transmorphic breathwork comes in as well, just to make sure you're right in the zone before you even get in that hammock. And then we got the old stuff as well, like workshops with Art of the Cosmos. I went to the grief one where you're allowed to release through TRE or the naturopathic nutrition. The amount of different stuff they've got going on. The only way you're actually going to know is go down to transmutestudio.co.uk and have a little look, because that's where creativity meets awareness, and they both play.
So we'll just sit with back straight, attention inwards, eyes closed, smiling inside. And take a deep breath in, breathing in expansive presence on the inhale, releasing heaviness and blockages on the exhale. Breathing in, smiling inside, pure radiance. Breathing out, releasing judgments of self and other, thoughts of future and past. Smiling inside. We'll chant Om. As we chant Om, imagining that any worries, fears, doubts, frustrations, agitations, any physical, mental or emotional pain or trauma or clinging to limits can get totally dissolved into the sound of Om. We can visualize and imagine a pure radiance rising from the base of the spine, traveling up to the crown of the head, refreshing, invigorating every cell of the body. And as we're all cells in the one infinite body of nature, expanding this greeting to all of nature, wishing purification for all of the waters of the planet, for the rivers, for the lakes, for the streams, for the oceans, for the rains, and the purification of all of our feelings and emotions, reflecting the purification of the waters of the planet, for all the forests, for all the mountains, for all the deserts, for all the plants, for all the trees, for all the vegetation, for all animals of land, sky and sea, for all winged ones, for all crawling ones, for all swimming ones, for all four-legged, for all two-legged, for all human beings, for everyone we know, for everyone we don't know, for all ancestors, for all future generations, for all tribes, for all nations, for all of our relations, calling in total peace, easing of all suffering, ending of all conflicts, dissolving of all misunderstandings, dissolving of all hostility, of all corruption, of all abuse, calling in total peace, total respect, total love and bliss for all life, for all beings. Calling this in now through chanting the sacred syllable Om, taking in another deep breath and releasing. And next exhale, chanting Om from deep within. opening Sanskrit mantras, invocations, inviting in the removal of all obstacles, the clearing of the way, the guardian of the gates, inviting in all divine mothers and fathers of the cosmos, of purification, protection, nourishment, transformation, inviting in the divine guardians of the 10 directions, Vastu Devatas, guardians of all sacred lands, inviting in all knowers of wisdom and divinity from all divine traditions, lineages of the Sanatan Dharma, to be present here in this moment, in this space, in our hearts, in our minds, in our lives, in our hands, in our feet, in our paths, deepening our connection to essence, to presence that always is, that always was, that always will be, that can never be diluted, that can never be drained, that unshakable, indestructible presence of essence, calling in this endless source of pure awareness, Shiva, divine energy, Shakti, to remove all disturbances, boiling into total peace in every level of being, allowing these sound vibrations to harmonize through every nadi, the 72,000 meridians, rivers that flow through the subtle bodies, nourishing every level of being. So just allowing thoughts of past and future to dissolve, receiving this as a sound bath, these mantras. Om Shriman Mahaganadhipataye Namaha. Om Lakshmi Narayanabhyam Namaha. Om Uma Maheshwarabhyam Namaha. Om Vani Hiranyagarbhabhyam Namaha. Om Satchit Purandarabhyam Namaha. Om Mata Pitrabhyam Namaha. Om Ishta Devatabhyo Namaha. Om Kula Devatabhyo Namaha. Om Grama Devatabhyo Namaha. Om Vastu Devatabhyo Namaha. Om Sarvebhyo Devebhyo Namaha. Om Sarvebhyo Shaktebhyo Namaha. Om Sarvebhyo Brahmanebhyo Namaha. Om Sarvebhyo Devebhyo Namaha. Gurur Brahma Gurur Vishnu Gurur Devo Maheshwara Gurur Sakshat Param Brahma Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha Shuklam Bararanam Vishnam Shashivarnam Chatarbhujam Prasanna Dhyayet Sarva Vigno Pashantaye. Gananam tva ganapatigum havamahe kabim kabhinam upamashravastamam jyeshtarajam brahmanaspata anashrinvan utirisi dasadanam. Om Shriman Mahaganadhipataye Namaha. Om Gam Ganapataye Namaha. Om Gam Ganapataye Namaha. Om Gam Ganapataye Namaha. Om Gam Ganapataye Namaha. Rata Sapta Shloki Jnaninaamapi chetamsi Devi Bhagavati Hisa Balada Krishya Mohaya Mahamaya Priyachati. She, the Supreme Goddess, the great measurement of consciousness, attracts the capacity of all beings and thrusts them into ignorance. Durge smita harasi betim sasajanto swastai smrita mati mativa shubham dadasi Dharitra dukha bhaya harinika twadanya sarvopakara karanaya sadadrichitta. Oh Durga, believe above difficulties, calling you dispels the fear of all beings. Increase welfare and intelligence for those who live in the harmony of spiritual growth. Oh, dispeller of poverty, fear and pain. Your compassion extends to all beings the same. Sardava Mangala Mangalye Shive Sarvata Sadike Sharanye Triambake Gauri Narayani Namostute. To the auspicious of all auspiciousness, pure goodness accomplishing all objectives, the source of refuge, the free world's goddess, bowing to the shining exposer of consciousness. Sharanagata Dinata Paritrana Parayane Sarvasyarti Hare Devi Narayani Namostute. To those who take refuge in you, O Goddess, you remove all discomfort and unhappiness. All worries you take away, O Goddess, bowing to the exposer of consciousness. Sarva Swarupe Sarveshe Sarva Shakti Samanvite Bhayabhyastrahino Devi Durge Devi Namostute. The supreme of all, the sovereign of all, the source of all energy, you remove all fears and afflictions. O Goddess Durga, we bow to thee. Rogana Sheshana Paham Shitushta Rudustatu Kaman Sakalana Vishtan Tvamachitanam Navapannaranam Tvamashitahashrayatam Prayanti. When you are pleased, you remove all disease. You frustrate all desires if you are not pleased. No trouble come for those who take refuge in you. They also become a source of refuge. Sarva Badha Prashamanam Trailokyasya Kileshwari Evameva Tvaya Karyam Asmat Bhairi Vinashanam Antarshatru Vinashanam. O Supreme Sovereign Goddess of the free realities, please remove all disturbance and hostility from my environment and from within me, physically, mentally, emotionally, for the self, for the others, and for all family, in sleeping, dreaming, waking realities, and for all of the infinite triple possibilities. Oh, Supreme Sovereign Goddess of the free realities, please remove all disturbance and hostility from my environment and from within me. Kali Kali Mahakali Kalike Papaharini Dharmartha Mokshade Devi Narayani Namostute. Kali Kali Mahakali Kalike Papaharini Dharmartha Mokshade Devi Narayani Namostute. Narayani Namostute. Narayani Namostute. Shri Mahakali Mahalakshmi Mahasaraswati Devi ki Jai. Jagadambe Mata ki Jai. Shri Guru Mata Vijnanamba Paramahamsa Parivrajika ki Jai. Shri Annapurnamba Sahita Shri Amritanandanata ki Jai. Shri Swaprakashananda Vaduta Tirtha ki Jai. Shri Ma Swami Satyananda Saraswati ki Jai. Shri Amritanandamayi Devi ki jai, Ramakrishna Paramahamsa ki jai, Savasantana ki jai, Ganga Mata ki jai, Kala Bhairava ki jai, Shri 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 Sahasrakshi Rajarajeshwari Brahma Vidyalalita Mahatri Purasundari Devi ki jai, Sanatan Dharma ki jai, Bharat Mata ki jai, Nama Parvati Pataye, Har Har Mahadeva, Shambhu Shankara. Peace to the listeners, peace to the speakers, peace to the givers, peace to the receivers, peace to the students, peace to the teachers, peace to the spirit, peace to the bodies. May there be a pure and contagious filled flow of information between us. May there be no rise or cause for hostility between us. Sahana bhavattu sahanau bhunaktu sahaviryam karavavahe tejasvinavadhitamastu ma vidvishavahe. Shanti Shanti Shanti. Shri Gurubhyo Namaha. Harihi
Thank you, brother.
Thanks, man. Yeah.
Yeah, I can tell.
So yeah, that's usually the opening.
Yeah.
And then sometimes we get into the song after that, but maybe we can leave it for later.
I'll tell you what, we'll finish it with it. I feel like we'll finish it with that. Thank you very much.
Yeah, thanks, bro. Thank you for the welcome.
Appreciate it.
Big blessing to be here.
No, thank you for coming. It was a little chance meeting that we had at the Sam Garrett concert down at Union Chapel.
Yeah, it was beautiful. And I felt your spirit that day, and you were like, "You can't come through. Let's do the podcast." And it's nice, to have some cacao and sit down with you and relate.
You've now got the remnants of the cacao with the Bengal spice. It's gone out there.
Yeah. I'll have a bit before it
My
gets
brother.
cold. Who on earth?
Who on earth? And that's literally what this show is. Like I was telling you, it's not who on earth you want people to think you are. It's who on earth is Antarma. And that's why I think it was beautiful that we had such an opening as we just did, because I feel like that was just you fully expressing yourself. So thank you very much.
Thank you, bro.
So
Appreciate it.
It's as simple as we can get. It's your story. It's who on earth is this person in front of us? Who are we listening to? Usually I like to start it with where you came from. So could you just let the listeners know where is it that we come from?
Where is it that we come from? It's a good question.
Remember, we've only got one episode. So.
Yeah. It's see, it's really a good question. It's the ultimate question. And I was beginning to say to you earlier as well, like, this so-called personality of a geezer that was born in London and grew up in London, and is this bunch of 5 elements mixed up, and energy permeates through it. So while that is, there is a normal human story that we can discuss. It's not what feels real. It feels like that's a very limited part of the story. The energy flow,
I'll tell you what,
is what feels real. I just in that sense, because more than anything, and and it is fine to go and talk about the human aspects of the stories, and this might be too cosmic and too expansive, but it's just right now there's and there's energy that doesn't die. This body, this will die. This character will be forgotten after some time. Maybe some of the songs that might be remembered, but this is just a blink of an eye.
Well, this episode is about celebrating that character that you just mentioned. We all understand to a certain degree that there is a core, timeless, formless part of ourselves which links us all intrinsically. But
I mean, I guess the thing is, I've struggled with the limit of the character, and it feels so constricting. I mean, and after that, okay, I'm all right. Also embodying this character, but it's just like playing a character. This is all like, this is all just like.
Well, tell you
what's
gloves, better is where did the vessel originate? where did it grow? Where did the first seed begin sprouting?
In my mother's womb. It's even the thing of mine. I grew up in London. And where did the journey start of music and these things? So I mean, you can give me some more orientation, because it's like a very general thing. Where are we from? I grew up in London, in the UK.
So what was it like growing up then?
It was all right. Yeah, it's fine. Ups and downs, like life. I feel as a child, I feel like all children are very much connected to the beauty of the present moment and the power of the presence. And I was no different like that. And I remember feeling that really intensely as a child through music, through moments of observing nature. But I also remember really intensely feeling the lack of it as well. And I suppose that is where, if we can say, where the journey of music and mantra and spirituality, and which is a word I actually prefer to avoid, because spirituality is such a.
Well, how can you not be a spiritual person? You are the spirit enjoying this particular adventure. As like you said, how can I say I'm this character?
It's so funny. Like the quote from from Lao Tzu, from the Tao Te Ching, says the Tao that is spoken is not the true Tao. So whatever words that we try to encapsulate, it's not that. Here we are having a nice chat, and hopefully some essence will come through that to whoever's listening and whoever's tuning in.
Well, it's ineffable, isn't it?
Yeah.
It's like I was telling you before. I can tell you what an orange is as much as I like. It isn't the taste of an orange. It isn't the smell of an orange. It isn't the colour of an orange. But for the listeners and the viewers, we'll do our best, eh? So you said that music was there from the start. Then there was a love for it.
Yeah, for sure. So
tell us a bit more about that. How was it manifesting in your life? Were you actually actively writing songs, or were you just listening at this point? Was everything a drum at that point?
Actually, when I remember, I think when I was in one music class in my primary school in North London, in Palmer's Green, where I grew up, and they were like teaching us some rhythms on the desks, and I never stopped tapping things. And bless my poor parents, because they put up with so much of for years, and it was never that great, and the rhythms were not really at one point, but I just made loads of noise and upset a lot of people from the beginning.
The love was there, but the skill level wasn't
there. And the enthusiasm was there. And still, I often say, there's a lot of people that are much more skilled than I am, but out of enthusiasm, then I'm one of the best.
Well, that's 9 out of the 10, really. Just having that passion, that love. I heard the saying with patience, everything can be mastered. He who masters patience masters everything else. So as long as you've got the love and you're continuous with it.
Yeah, man.
I'm seeing the skills
now.
Yeah,
I'm thankful because it's just, I love just to break through whatever kind of heaviness or this, as I said, this longing, this feeling that something's not right. I feel like that's somewhere deep within most human beings, this feeling of something's not okay, right?
Expand on that. How was that manifesting at that point?
It's difficult to say. I mean, like, school system just didn't make sense to me. I remember I was speaking, it was such a blessing, earlier today in Manchester, I just did a session in the conscious school with the children. So teaching kids yoga and a bit of Om chanting and drumming and songs and positive affirmations with the little ones. And I was just saying to some of the mums of that school that invited me there, that when I was a kid, I remember there was maybe 2 out of many teachers that actually loved children and loved to teach children. And most of them seemed to be people that were, I don't want to blame them, but probably were traumatized themselves and liked to actually inflict trauma on the children. Those are the people that were working in the schools.
Reliving that loop. Because
liking to be mean to innocent children, which is so sad. But it happens, doesn't it, in society and in families and all that that pain that doesn't get resolved gets passed on.
But you had 2 teachers that weren't doing that.
Yeah, and I remember them, really, really thankful for them. Yeah, Mrs. F. Grave and Mrs. Sullivan.
Shout out.
Yeah. If
you're watching.
Yeah. When I was like, maybe 4 and 5. I've not seen them since then. So I wonder where they are now these days. But actually, the first ever like performance was at a school assembly, and me and a couple of the other boys did a Gangster's Paradise, Coolio's Gangster's Paradise. Showing my age there now. How old are you actually, bro?
I'm 30. Okay. 33 actually in May. So, all right. So as I walk through the valley of the shadow of death, I take a look at my life and realize there's nothing left. Laughing.
When that was the first time that we did something, and I remember one of the kids' mums was like, "You're going to be a rapper when you're older." I was like, I didn't even think about anything like that. I was like, not thinking about when I'm older, but this is the moment now. It's funny actually. One of those guys, Abdul, he known as Omi now these days. We're actually still friends, and we were friends when we were 4.
Okay, so it's one of those lifelongers.
Not consistently, but we met in primary school, and then we ended up bumping into each other at 20, and then again at 30.
But you know what? They are the lifelongers. There's some tether.
Somehow we keep on
like I have friends where they go, but there's always going to be that. It's almost like that.
And he's also he's a musician. He's he's a producer and stuff, and just like Somalian beats and
that sounds cool.
So,
but by the way, for the younger viewers, if you don't know what Gangster's Paradise is, go on, pause this, go on Apple Music, Spotify, check it out. Coolio. You won't regret
it. I'm a young spirit, but it's interesting to I still feel like an absolute baby, but to realise that you start hanging out with people that don't know the tunes. It's a madness,
when I'll say something, I'm like, you don't know that song?
Yeah. So, I mean, I was probably like 4 or 5 when it came out. So you must have been about 1 or what?
How old are you then? So you're about
36.
36, okay.
36,
so you're slightly ahead of me.
Yeah.
You'd have been the kid because when you're in like year 7 to 11, I mean, they're giants, aren't the year 11s compared to year 7? So right. So,
but hip hop. I mean, it was like listening to hip hop. My dad played nice music. My dad was one of my first musical inspirations.
So he's a musician then?
He's not a professional musician. He was a bit when he was like young. He played in some jazz bands and that. But he plays guitar and he's got a charisma to him, and he plays the spoons and does some like old Cockney rhyming slang songs and stuff. And my old man's a dustman. And he played a lot of eclectic different music at home, and he used to like to keep a big sound system, and you hear and feel the sounds. I remember he'd play, like a lot of cool music from the 70s and 60s, and like Jimi Hendrix and Bob Marley, and sometimes he'd play some sort of world music remixes. I remember the first time hearing some Native American chants and Lakota and African music, and just Stevie Wonder and all these
the seed was planted.
Yeah. And then the current stuff at the time that was reggae, and then by the time 7, 8, 9, like listening to pirate radio station Jungle, Cool FM, and garage and drum and bass, and some of the early UK hip hop stuff as well.
Like that Channel U shout.
Yeah, Channel. You see, that was a little bit later. So grime and that. I remember when grime came through, and I was already really into hip hop, and it was like quite interested at how it was such a different little flow. It's like a little bit faster, and you see some of the guys doing this like repetition on words like. So I was around that, but I was more on the sort of like hip hop rather than than grime so much.
Because when I remember you did a song and it was mint, where you were like doing like a horse sound, and it's like almost a comedic little
chill for a minute,
chill for a minute, just chill for a minute, and I was like, who's this dude like at the space of the wheel? And then because obviously you start with your mantras, but there is that side of you still, isn't there? Like those echoes
I mean,
of that.
for me, the hip hop was the first mantra in my life, and it came around. Obviously, it's more modern application, but it's the same thing. It's rhythm, word, sound, and repetition and rhyme, and it it creates a pattern and code in your mind, and you can feel it in your body. So in a sense, like the ancient Vedic mantras and tantric mantras
they were coolio back in the day.
and they're really cool dudes as well. The rishis who received that from the stream of information from the cosmos, from being in that space of openness. So incantations, repetition, it's like it's a spell, so it's a powerful. And poetry, I remember as well, like one thing is rap, and then poetry is, I remember I must have been about 14, and I started to go to some like open mics and stuff, and started to hear people doing spoken word, which was like, oh, you can do rap without a beat, and then let it sink in a bit, and it's kind of maybe a bit more of a storytelling thing in the messages. And
well, I heard Alan Watts saying poetry is the closest we can get to using words to describe the ineffable. That's what poetry is trying to do, is trying to describe what cannot be described.
Yes.
How did that manifest in your life? Did you start doing poetry yourself? Did you switch a little bit?
Yeah. So I mean, I think by the time I was maybe 7 or 8, going back to a little bit of the thing about that feeling of lack, I'd feel the moment of beauty and power, and I'd really intensely feel the lack of it too, and it made me very hungry for intense presence from an early age. I remember really just feeling a want for intensity of presence and fullness of experience, and so I started playing guitar around 7, 8, age 7, doing some lessons, and then writing lyrics as well. And in school, I was kind of in and out of different schools. I was like, didn't really work out that well, and used to get in trouble and stuff, and not really respect the authority because it didn't feel good. But as I said, when it was with love, then I would respect it. But when it wasn't, and when it was just this kind of very kind of grey sort of put you in a box kind of thing, become an office worker, you're working in a little office at school, and now we're going to put you in become a number in a machine. It didn't I wasn't able to
I can definitely relate
my spirit through that.
Are you tired of feeling run down? Maybe you're struggling with some sort of health condition, or it could be as simple as you're not reaching your fullest potential. Well, I found a solution. Isabella Nutrition's here to transform your life, show you the incredible healing power of nature. Let me just introduce to you Isabella Bradford Johnson, a skilled naturopathic nutritionist with a passion for showing you how to achieve optimum health, well-being, with tailor-made nutrition and lifestyle plans. She'll show you how to fill your life with vitality, renewed energy. Now, Isabella firmly believes that your body holds the key to your healing. She just wants to show you how to unlock it. Through the power of lifestyle and diet changes, Isabella will show you how to heal from within. Be that best version of yourself. Now, whether you're looking to improve your overall health or target a specific area, maybe it's gut or hormonal issues where she specialises, Isabella will have expert guidance and support to show you how to have a future filled with joy. Now, it's not about quick fixes, short-term solutions. No, it's about long-term transformation, sustainable results. So stop waiting to take care of your health. Go down to www.isabellabradfordjohnsonnutritionist.uk. Book a consultation with Isabella today. Embark on a journey filled with health, vitality, lasting well-being. Isabella Nutrition, empowering you to live your healthiest life.
Was school not easy for you as well?
Well, it's not who on earth am I, but I can definitely relate to that whole just not making sense to me. Seeing people who they didn't seem like my well-being and my growth was actually number one. And when my own manifestation of this hyper energy, like can't just sit still, that wasn't my domain. I think most kids are like that, but I definitely have a strong way of channeling energy and inside that. And then my mind's quite fast. So, and I wasn't reverent for that sort of stuff. So I would purposely try and twist the teachers up with words they had said earlier. And I'm remembering them and going, but you said that and now you're saying this. And I was probably the most suspended kid in my school. Yet when it came to revising, I'd go revise in the sun because I love to learn. I was saying at the start, mutual friend Fareed, he was saying how you were just an avid studier. You love to understand stuff. I'm the same, but I just didn't like the way you were doing it. So I'd get A's in the A levels, in the GCSEs, and I had one history teacher, like, she gave me a kiss on the cheek, like, how did you get an A?
Yeah,
but like, if you look at that reverse, she's surprised
because of because you were a rebellious character, so they thought that you must be dumb, but they didn't.
Well, they put me in blue, which was bottom. Okay. And then all of a sudden I was in yellow the next year, which was top. So I never went through the middle ones. I just went from green, second bottom. Which, by the way, telling children that they're in the bottom set and then you're in the middle set and you're in the top, that itself is a bit
very, very harmful. Yeah.
So school, getting put in a box wasn't really working out for you. What happens when we leave school?
Well, I left school at age 12.
Right.
So that was where my path really began. Actually, I was kicked out of school. I won't get into all the details, but I thought I was a little bad man, and luckily I wasn't very skilled at it, because otherwise I'd have probably gone much deeper into like prison or death. But thought I was cool and was doing stupid stuff, and
we've all been there.
But luckily I got caught, and I'm glad I did, because it just wasn't my path to go so deep into all that. But it brought me then to, that's where I think I was age 12, and that's where writing lyrics became my main therapy of processing my emotions and difficulties. I had a lot of illness as a child as well, so I had a lot of asthma and eczema, and sometimes I had near-death experiences as well, where I just couldn't breathe. And
that bad then?
Yeah, and I was even feeling depressed and all that kind of, and even suicidal, by the age 8, there was some sort of heaviness. And I also had a really expansive experience at that point when I was really young. I remember lying down, had this another temporary illness called impetigo. I don't know if you know that, but it's a kind of infection that covers up your mouth and means you can't really open your mouth.
Really?
And if it goes up to your nasal passage, then it stops your breathing and you're gone. But it stayed mostly around the mouth, but I couldn't really open my mouth, couldn't eat for a couple of weeks. And so I was in this quite expansive state, and I remember all this light coming in the dark room, and it was just like rising through the room, just like coming through my body, and I just saw like this round stone on the horizon, and I could feel it rising up, and I just said, the only word I had was infinity, 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 infinity. And it wasn't something like, wow, that's great. It wasn't even comforting, but it was something expansive, and that always stayed with me. So it made this intensity of like seeking something beyond what I could see. So coming in,
the door had been opened from an early age.
Yeah.
What's that?
Yeah, something beyond, because what this so-called, solid reality seemed to be just quite constrictive. So music was a therapy. But when the song's over and when you're still there with your experience, so I was seeking deeper, and as I said, I was expelled from school. So then the kids that were my friends of the same age weren't allowed to hang out with me. So because I was
influence.
Yeah.
I've had that where the mum's literally opened the door going, "You're not welcome."
Yeah. So then I ended up hanging out with older kids, and I ended up in squat raves, in psychedelic raves and stuff, and drum and bass raves as a 12-year-old, having expansive experiences. And having a lot of fun as well, and the power of dancing for hours, and the kind of tribal experience of that's where I first saw drumming. Actually, before that, in fact, when I was about 7, 8, my best friend was from Zimbabwe, called Kumbulani Zondo, a good friend. I'd love to meet him again. We're not been in touch for years, so I searched him online.
Well, funny enough, he's actually one of our main contributors.
He must be, yeah. But he gave me my first African drum when I was maybe around 7 or 8, and I had that. He brought it from his village, and he taught me some of the beats that they do to kind of call the cows home and stuff like that. So amazing, traditional Shona and Dewele African beats and that. And tradition. So that was there from early age. But then when I'd seen people drumming and stuff, I'd always go into these these squat parties and stuff. I was way too young to be there. They were illegal parties anyway. And yes, funny thinking back to that. But yeah, so I remember that then I met someone when I was 13, and I knew when I saw him, I was like, whatever he knows, I need to know.
Okay.
And
he was radiating from him,
he was very strong presence, and through kind of hunting him down and following him, then he was also into poetry and into yoga and meditation, and he introduced me to this concept of the Divine Mother and the Kundalini Shakti and the chakras and pujas and the Sanskrit mantras, Shiva and Ganesha and Durga and these aspects of divinity. And it was really, really life-changing for me, really powerful to
I didn't realise it was that young that you...
Yeah, so from age 13, that was really deep, powerful. And I didn't have conventional schooling, so that was like my school. I was like, he was like a dad to me in a sense. And my parents, I love my parents so much, and yet they were not able to kind of understand where I was at, and they did their best, but I'm really thankful that they also kind of let me be, because I didn't really know what to do with someone going through those kind of things. And yeah, I love them so much, and I'm thankful for them. At that time, I was definitely giving them a hard time, and yeah, as most teenagers do. Yeah, a lot of teenagers.
Young boy going through a lot of stuff.
Yeah,
to...
And so yeah, I was studying the sacred traditions of India and also of Africa and the Amazon from an early age. And it was something really profound and very comforting. So yeah, the first aspect of that, the yoga traditions and the mantras and connecting to that Divine Mother energy. It was something that was really
Speaking of the Divine Mother.
There's your Divine Mother coming down the stairs already. Wow, time's going fast. Hi, Mummy.
So we haven't decided. We haven't decided, have we, if we're going to cut this bit out or not? We thought it might be nice to have you in. Say hello to the viewers.
Hi. What's your name?
Sheila.
Lovely to meet you, Sheila. Antarma.
She's about to go to Spain.
Okay, wishing you safe journeys and travels.
Thank you very
Come
much.
give me a hug before you go. Safe journey.
Hey.
Thank you.
Love you.
Much love. Bless. Thank you for letting us stay in sit in the house and do the interview.
This is definitely the most accommodating person you'll ever find on the planet.
Wonderful.
She's
so blessed.
She's a special person. But that was that was our Divine
Good timing.
Mother.
Do
you know
Divine
what?
Mother, and that's because our mothers, gave us birth, gave us all of their own body and energy in their womb, and then suffered to bring us into this world, and gave us milk and gave us food and clothed us and wiped our butts and did everything. And without them, where would we be?
I think it's impossible to understand the importance of having that in your life. Somebody that does that for you, and then that echoes through the rest of your life. You never stop being that little boy or that little girl to that person.
Of course. And
obviously, until you experience it yourself, it's probably hard to put. My mate's just had a baby, and he's like, "Don't ask for me to explain what's going on."
Yeah, it's indescribable amount of love and respect, isn't it? Yeah.
So sorry, go on. You were talking about the Divine Mother was coming in.
Yeah. The spirit of the Divine Mother, actually. So that was the first meditation that I did. It was through one aspect of this devotion, Shakta, what we call Shaktaya tradition, or Shaiva and Shakta. Asking in with some English affirmation, touching your heart and saying, Divine Mother, please awaken the pure spirit in me, and speaking to that Divine Mother, which is known as like this pure essence, this spirit, and then being not just trying to believe it intellectually, but feel that.
Very important that you say that. We can talk as much as you want. Yeah. You can tell the people who are living it. You said that guy, you just needed to know what he knew. He probably didn't even say it at first. You just saw it. It's like when I was talking about Ruben on the show.
Yeah.
You just...
Yeah, he's got a deep, powerful energy, and it's embodying that energy. Yeah.
And then you're like, you're around somebody long enough, what's helped them, they want to share it. Yeah. That is part of, like we were talking about our purpose and just wanting to share this, whatever this is that's been helping me. I want you, because to me, I don't see you as different. I see you as this unique, beautiful manifestation, but the core essence, that bit you're talking about, that is just formless.
Yeah, that's it, man.
But we're going to end up doing that all day, so.
Yeah. And it's a beautiful point to keep on coming back to, because as much as we go into the stories are beautiful, and then they all come to an end. And come to an end in a place that never ends. and that never even begins.
It's a human concept. End. Start. End. Start. We go to bed. We wake up as if that's a start and an end. No, it just continues.
Yes.
The night has come, but somebody else is experiencing day on the other side. It's one of them. But
well put.
you've had this. This seems like it started. You said that you were always something didn't quite feel right. Was this starting to help?
Oh, so much. Yeah, so much comfort, so much deep love, and then also at the same time, then so much uncovering of so much of the difficulties. It's like when you touch that energy of purity, then you also then prepared to start to to clear all the layers of whatever is in the way of that.
It never ends, and that's the whole thing we were just saying. It's not meant to end. It's just next. Like you said when we were having our cacao, the more I know, the more I know I don't know anything.
Yeah, ultimately that's the point. I really like when I share practices or teachings or mantras or music, and I just have to just say I know absolutely nothing. I'm thankful to be able to share a little bit of what I've received and what's been helpful, what's made me be able to feel that goodness and that joy and that comfort to deal with life struggles. And it's so beautiful to be able to share that to others as well.
Definitely. Where did we go then? So we've had this. We're starting to feel. We've got a new teacher, as you said. We've started to feel like life's making a bit more sense. It is unveiling these unknown parts, but where are we going from there when we're starting to transition into more of the young adult side of yourself?
Yeah, so throughout my teenage years, then mantra and spirituality in different forms were there, and music and the desire to share that joy. Not so much that thing of being a performer or even being an individual, which is where when you start coming to that question, it's always been like no. Not an individual, a collective, and not even a collective, just a vibe. That's what's always felt
just
right.
A vibe.
Yeah, you get me. It's just like something that can't be limited. Even within all of the limits, honoring the unlimited within the limit. So was blessed to be around people who fully embody that energy and that presence in deep, profound, beautiful ways in different traditions as well. In the Indian tradition of the Sanatana Dharma, being around Amma, being around the African and Brazilian and Amazonian traditions, shamanic traditions from the Amazon, being around the Sufi traditions as well, and being not just dabbling, but being part of these circles and these ceremonies where that essence is brought in a real powerful, deep way. It's been hugely influential in my path. And
were we staying in London the whole time?
Mostly, yeah. I was spent some time in Portugal for a little bit as well, and that's where I got connected to this Brazilian tradition as well, and a lot of the music from those ceremonies. Yeah, it's a kind of mestizo tradition, you can say. So it's got aspects of Amazonian indigenous practice and music, and then also the African Brazilian, and also under the banner of Catholicism, which is kind of, so it's this universal
everyone's trying to stamp,
but it's actually really interesting mix of these different cultures, but the music is and the essence and the power is so beautiful, so transformational. So that played a huge part in the music that you hear that I'm putting out now. It's that's been,
because you said that you started just doing this music for ceremonies, didn't you?
Yeah, I mean, I would play. I do some like bit of poetry on some events and that, and even in Portugal, I recorded a few of the tracks, so some of the lyrics that would come through, and worked with a producer out there, and even played in some kind of big stage. I played at Boom in 2006 and 2008 when I was like a young teenager.
Prodigy.
I shared some vibes and some moments, but it wasn't. I guess I wasn't grounded enough back then because I had a lot of really full on intense.
It's young. That is the young boy energy, isn't it?
Yeah. Just... and went through a lot of really difficult times as well. Like when I was 17, my parents left London and moved to France, and so my childhood home wasn't there. So I was kind of also playing on the streets as well, like to make a living, and would stay in people's living rooms, and sometimes I didn't have somewhere to stay as well, which is really interesting when you said that I played a homeless character in one of your journeys.
Yeah, just for those who haven't seen any of your episodes or I do floating meditation journeys, and but obviously I love your music. After from when I saw you, I was like, this is a dude. Is he on Apple Music? Let's find him. And the Shakti and the Just to Live, you were both times the beggar.
Okay, there you go.
were the homeless person, but the whole point was you were the happiest person in all the characters.
That's funny, man. Yeah, interesting that you picked that out without ever knowing my story. So I've been that, and it's been a bit thankfully since releasing these songs, and there were so many obstacles to actually getting through that. I feel it's like, whatever difficulties we go through, it's our destiny or our karma to go through whatever we have to go through, and I'm thankful for all of it, and I really do feel that, like you say, that happiness, that joyfulness is not something that can be bought or sold. It's just it is.
They try and say it's in this bottle, it's in this product. It's no.
Spending time in India as well, like some of the most happiest and purest shining people just sleep on a mat on the floor and look after the cows, and the kind of smile and generosity that they'll give you is like so different from the people that have, like, there are some people that have wealth and also a lot of happiness, but it's not always as easy to see it.
I think it's how the intention behind how you got the wealth.
Of course.
Like you'll see some people who they have the purest intention and they understand how wealth will help in that purpose. Some people are doing it it's that separation sort of energy of I need. And
the more you have, the more you have to kind of worry about not having it, right?
Trust.
there's
that was what you were saying in the Storyland story. You were telling the rich man,
right,
I know you've got all this, but it's a blessing just to live.
Yeah, for sure. That's funny. Yeah. So I'd really love to hear the stories that you make up.
I'd love for you to come. I'd love for you to come. We have a cacao ceremony, which I know you're avid believer in that one, and then we do a bit of breath work with Joshua Obazuki, who does transformative breath work, just to get you in the right zone, just to shake off the day's energy, just come to here now, presence. Then there's hammocks, which you don't even need me. There's hammocks. After doing that, and you're in a hammock.
Nice. Yeah.
But then that's to get you fully present, because my belief is music shouldn't be background. It's not something just that, like the not just even the words. It's like the notes that you're playing. Why that note and why in that way, and just fully experience the artist. My stories just give you a platform, because that's how much I believe in your music. That's why it was so exciting when I saw you at Sam Garrett, the opportunistic person I am. I'm like, Fariz and Leo know him. They tell me good things.
Good people, man. I love them both. Yeah.
How can I not at least say hello and
I appreciate
see what comes from that?
Yeah, man.
And we've been having a good time, I feel. So,
yeah, man. It's been a good vibe so far, man. Yeah, appreciate your presence and what you're doing with this podcast and sharing different perspectives about music and also the people behind the music and what brought them to it. Yeah.
So you said that you were busking.
Yeah.
Was that you said, and you also just a thing you said I'm grateful for all this adversity. Were we always grateful? Because that wasn't my perspective when I was younger. I was not grateful. It felt like a stick the universe was hitting me with. Yeah. Or have you had that from a young age, that appreciation that this isn't an obstacle, this is an opportunity?
That's a good question. When did it come? I feel like sometimes when you're going through the struggles, it's like, oh no, this is so hard. I feel like, no, actually for years I felt like I was just, connected with that pure essence and that spirit, but also just drowning in so much difficulty and struggling and fighting against it and blaming the scenarios and the people and the world and the society and the school and the family and the people who've hurt you, and blaming yourself and judging yourself, judging others. And I'm really thankful. I feel just after so many years on this path, I feel thankful that I don't take things personally so much anymore. I'm really thankful for that. even my own person, I don't really take him personally anymore. It's like, okay, he's that. All right,
Well, it's
I'm
the
just
parts.
watching it. Yeah.
Have you heard of IFS, Internal Family System Therapeutic Model? It's basically saying that we're not just Antarma, we're not just Michael.
Yeah, yeah.
There's so many fragmented parts.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
And inner peace is all those parts listening and understanding each other and working in harmony. Outer peace is all the outer parts.
Yeah.
But it's just inner part, outer part. And it's just, like you said, getting to that point where it doesn't feel like, oh, why me? Why this? Why that? Why this? And actually being like, oh, so this was for this reason and I can use this. And even embracing those parts of us that are going, why?
Yeah.
Giving them a voice. Sometimes I was sat with the grandmother and she was just said, how does that part want to be expressed? And it wanted to attack people. I went, well, no suffering to others, no suffering to me, but there's infinite possibilities. How do you want to express? And it just went, and it was like, and it was very much like, you don't want me to do that. You want happy, joy, blissful, content, but I don't. It's like almost like I don't get to speak then, and because I'm not the pretty voice, I'm not the pretty dance move, I'm not the happy make everyone feel good, but I am I'm an energy that wants to be expressed too. And until I did that, and which you can do in meditation, it can express itself within you. It doesn't have to be an action, but it's fun to see that these parts actually are just their own beautiful way. Beauty doesn't have to be pretty, if that makes sense.
Yeah, yeah, for sure. In fact, honoring pain, honoring grief, it's been been a huge part of the journey, and somehow that visceral relatedness allows the beauty of the joy to feel even more beautiful when you're honoring the pain, honoring the lack, honoring that feeling of something's wrong. Yeah. To realize actually, no, even that something's wrong is not wrong. It's perfect as it is. It's okay not to feel okay. You know,
exactly. Yeah.
There's a song that's going to be released soon called "You Are Amazing." One of the lyrics says, "There's nothing wrong in feeling wrong. What's done is done. You are so strong." You know? So these affirmations just to say, this just honoring the difficulty and honoring it also helps us to go beyond it. Man. So back to the journey side of and the life journey. So playing in shamanic ceremonies, and a lot of inspiration came through those journeys and for lyrics and sounds and songs, and also to continue more deeply in the mantra practice and even the drumming as well, connecting with the African drumming and the spirit of the drum and the power of it and how it just really brings you into the present moment, you know.
Expand on the drum then, because I know I've seen a few segments you do where it's everything's a drum. Everything's a drum. Like, what is the drum to you?
Drum is a heartbeat, and it's just a sound and a vibration that just calls in the essence and clears away the heaviness and just brings joyfulness, the rhythm, the dance of life. It's just
can't help it, can you?
Yeah. And I had a vision once where I saw the beat of the drum just brought so much light to the whole circle and just cleared so much heaviness. And I feel that daily when I play something, even though I don't actually hit the actual drum, you know, just that it comes through like that.
Because just like the words are a way of you expressing what's within, so it's the drum.
Yeah, and even in a way, it's like it's beyond any words. It's just
speaks better.
Yeah.
It's a more accurate language.
And as it's been said many times before, it's also the first time we hear in our mother's womb before we're born. Dum, 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 dum. You know, so
I love that you put it that way.
Yeah.
Like, dum, dum.
No, I saw this meme on social media where someone was like like being that spiritual guy, like taking the piss of it a little bit. He's someone who's obviously in it to be able to take the piss of it.
You get
and he was like, oh, drum is the first sound before you hear when you're born. And it was like, so I was like, I used that one. I said, that's
you got to laugh at yourself though, innit?
Yeah, for sure.
We were doing a ceremony, me and a few friends, and we take it with a lot of reverence. It is about growth. It's about healing, but joy is allowed. We don't need to be so serious. Why? The Joker says it. Why so serious like that? And it was just so obvious. It was so obvious that, and we did this little thing where there's this guy and he's like, "Oh, I didn't see you there." You know, and it's just like, you don't need to fake it. Like, just be in nature. Be the drum for a little bit and laugh when you notice you're taking it too serious.
Yeah, for sure, man. They've actually done studies that drumming is a proven antidepressant. Like people that are clinically depressed, give them drumming in a circle with your hands. You touch your pressure points with your
pressure
hands.
points. That's why we clap.
And the sound vibration. And even for people that are non-verbal, that can't speak or articulate words, drumming in a circle, you feel part of a community in a non-competitive way, in a cooperative
non-competitive is important as well. It's just a sharing, it's a chatting.
Exactly.
I was telling you about Transmute, where we're hopefully we had Cushney Love and Carrie Tree, we were talking about linking you up there. And they had a drum circle, but it wasn't just teaching you how to play the drum. It was like, we'd be like, dum, 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 my name is, and then boom. And then it would just be, how do you want to communicate your essence to someone, but through the drumming? And for like half an hour, people who had no training in drumming, they're laughing, they're smiling.
Yeah, it's natural. It's so natural.
Help. Yeah, they can't help but just be like...
It's there in every culture, like drumming and all of the indigenous people of this planet know the power of being with the drum beat, of being around a fire, of being connected to nature with feet on the earth. It's like, it's something so medicinal. Even I was saying to one of these young people today that I was working with at the school, like actually 80% of problems come from not putting our feet on the earth. Like all of there's like natural antidepressants also if you touch soil with your hands and with your feet. But yeah.
Well, I've been speaking, I told you we've had Leo Oppenheim on the show.
Oh yeah, he's all big on the bed.
He loves it, and I've been doing it a lot more. I did a little quirky video called Anything But Meditation, because my friends, some of my older friends are like, you talk about meditation. It's anything but meditation, barefoot walking, and it's just, it does work miracles. It's so beautiful, just feet on the ground, freezing cold, but here.
Yeah, for sure.
Uncomfortable or sharp pains because of stones, but here.
You get thicker skin on your feet after a while as well. And
don't hurt as much.
Yeah. It's better when it's a bit warmer though, because depending on how strong your inner fire is.
I know what you're saying. I kind of like it in a weird way.
But you must have enough. I can see you have enough fire in your system. But if you got weak kidneys and that, it can be not so good if you're to be barefoot in the freezing cold.
I have a lot of. Does my girlfriend call it pitta? I
can see that from you.
And I do, and sometimes I can feel that energy so strong it's overwhelming. An old me who didn't realise that law of Dharma and each all will change, all will pass. You just need to not block it so it can pass. And it's like, and now it's flowing, and then it's beautiful. Whereas old me was very unskillful. It's block, but then that's like trying to contain a fire. Eventually.
Well, there's part one for you. Now, there's going to be part two in a few weeks, unless that time has elapsed, and now you can just go and watch it straight away. But digest that first hour. I hope you enjoyed the mantra as well, and hope you can start seeing these gems just being pulled through in part two. It's where we get real interesting. So if you want to find Antarma, anything that he's going to be doing in the next few months, weeks, or what have you, then I'll put the links for him in the description. Anything that he's going to be doing, you can find it there. Links for myself, if you want to do those one-to-ones, you want to come down to a class, you want to hear about the 10-day beginners course, even if you want to come down to a floating meditation journey, I'm here for it. And I can't wait to help you like these things have helped myself. And then Transmute at the new space. You're not ready for it. It's going to be mint. I just can't even wait for that. The links for them are there as well. They've absolutely stepped up. And Isabella Nutrition. We've just done the Juice and Flow retreat. She was fantastic. I can't stress enough that if we're fueling the body incorrectly, doesn't matter what else we're doing, it ain't going to run right. So Isabella Nutrition links will be there as well. Any likes, any shares, please comment. Let me know how you found it as well. It goes a long way. Massively appreciated. I love you for it. Now, whilst you're waiting, unless the time has elapsed and you can go straight to a part two, why not go check out episode 14 with Cushney Love and Carrie Tree, two other conscious singers. Another conscious artist as well right after them was episode 15 and 16 with my very good friend Wizardry. Loads to watch there. Got 20 other episodes. Fill your boots. Part 2's coming next. I know you can't wait because I know I can't. You've stayed this long. Means you love a bit of Antarma. Who on earth loves you too? Peace and love, guys.